Uh, Doing that fourth quarter lineup, I don't think we've seen it once all season. What possessed you to throw it out there, and how good do you think it worked?
Getting our butts beat by 15 or whatever it was, Doug. I thought that we were going to go down with the guys that were swinging, not that the other, but that group was giving it to us physically. They were getting into them where they scored in the fourth quarter 9 points. So they were just scrapping, and that's what the playoffs are about. Fight, toughness, want to. And again, for whatever reason, we didn't start the game that way. We ended up that way, but we didn't start that way. So we know there's another level we can get to, we got to get to if we intend to get one more game.
Eric behind the speaker.
Paul George was obviously going off in the first three quarters, only has 2 in the fourth. Norm Powell was a big part of that. What did you see from him?
It was team defense, Eric. One guy's not going to stop him. And for whatever reason, I thought our defensive help was there. One guy's not going to stop Paul George. He's such a great scorer. Again, I don't want to put that on. Just Norm did a good job, but it wasn't a one-man show. I got on Norm. He was supposed to foul in that last situation. I thought he was reaching, but he didn't grab him. We said if he dribbles, grab him. And he said he tried to, but he passed it before the officials called it. So, but I thought he came in and gave us some good minutes, some physicality, some toughness, because that's what these games are about.
Dwane, for 3 quarters, you said they were down 15 late in the third quarter. Where did this comeback come from?
That group that was in there, Bruce, I thought, the toughness, the want to, the inner, okay, I'm tired of getting my butt kicked. We're going to go to war. That group that was in there, I thought, had that. And, it was just about mixing, finding, searching for a group that was doing that because we weren't getting it in the first 3 quarters. And that's what we got to look back on the drawing board and see why. Because, again, this is what you play for. This is how you make a name for yourself. This is how you build legacies for yourself individually, is in the playoffs. So, why hold back?
What are you thinking when Solomon Hill's shot goes in? And how was the range of emotions in that stretch?
The thing about it, Mike, was I was upset at Norm because he was supposed to foul. And you foul in that situation, you make him shoot 2 free throws, and it becomes a free throw game. You do your percentages. So I was more upset at the offensive rebound with the Solomon Hill, the one that counted. He got in the corner in front of the bench. We get that stop, that rebound, defensive rebound, the game's over. So he knocked down a 3 that, right before that. That was the one that I was more upset. But then again, the one with 2 point whatever seconds it was, Norm was supposed to foul Paul George, and he didn't. And then he kicked it to so.
Dwane, DeMar's been telling us for a week that the shots would eventually start to fall. What did you see from tonight that allowed him to get those shots to fall?
A confident player, the player that, people made fun of me because I said we're going to ride with the guys that brought us here, that won us 56 games in the regular season. DeMar is an all-star for a reason. Guys don't forget how to score. And he did that tonight. And, again, I thought he did it within the rhythm of the offense, within the rhythm of the game. I don't think I got to look at it again, but I don't know how many he forced. But I thought he played his game and within the rhythm of the offense. But again, he also brought it on the defensive end too.
Dwane, you were rolling pretty good there in the fourth, and Stuckey right in front of your bench looks like he just fell over or slipped. What did you see there? It was right in front of you.
I thought he just slipped on his shoes went out from under him. His shoes went out. He stepped out of bounds and ran over Drake on the side. So I was more worried about Drake than I was Stuckey. So, but again, that's what I saw. I don't think it was any contact. It was a tough pass for him to catch. He was reaching for it and he slipped.
Any other questions? Rachel?
Oh, Rachel.
Can you just talk about what went into the decision to start Pat and how you sort of evaluate that and how it affected your rotation, really?
Well, Pat was a minus 20, and I love him to death, but I don't know if it took him out of his rhythm or whatever. But I just thought it would give us some speed and quickness to start the game. So we got to evaluate that. But I love Pat. He gives us so much. that, I don't know if starting him, messed up his rhythm or whatever, but, he's a very valuable piece for us coming off the bench.
Joseph?
Coach, you mentioned a couple days ago you thought you had to do a better job getting DeMar better looks. Was there anything adjustment-wise that you guys did as a team, or do you think it was just a matter of him knocking down some shots?
We had a couple new wrinkles into our offense, and again, at the end of the day, it's about what he did. He made shots. I can put a million new plays in, but wrinkles in. But he's got to at the end, and he did tonight, and that's the key. It's a players' league, and we did a couple of things to help him, but he did his job. He did his part.
Dwane, just
James.
scoring 21 of the first 23 points of the fourth quarter. Have you ever been a part of something like that in the playoffs?
No, not necessarily. And to hold an offensive team the way they were kicking our butt, 35 in the first, 29 in the third, and then to hold them to 9 in the fourth is just as amazing and impressive as far as our defensive end. Somebody asked the question, where did that come from? I got to look at that, and we want to bottle that up because that toughness is what you got to play with no matter who's in the game. And we got to use that as an example of how you have to play with that type of, because, again, Friday night's going to be a war. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be like it was last Saturday. And if we don't come in with that mentality like we had in the fourth quarter, it's going to be a long day.
Coach, Bismack, 16 rebounds tonight. He seemed to be the only guy who could really be relied on to get you boards. What can you talk about is the toughness he was showing out there?
Again, that group in there at the end, Stephen, was tough. It was toughness. He did it with grit, with guys hanging on his shoulder and pulling on him. I think they're doing a concerted effort. They're, when he gets the ball, just cracking him. And, he's got bumps all over his head and, from getting hit. So, but going through that and still getting 16 rebounds is huge. And they're doing a good job of trying to bottle him up, 2 bodies on him, hitting him, and when they're grabbing him on his shot, on his putbacks. So, and then tonight he made his free throws.